One can hear us logging in. Hi, this is the CaddyInfo.com Cadillac chat. I have with me tonight Vinny, who's mobile.
Mobile ain't the word. I just finished 2,500 miles. There's my U-Haul.
Wow, you even have a U-Haul attached to your U-Haul.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
And Air Mike is on from CaddyInfo and XLRNet.
Hola.
Hola, welcome. So Vinny, tell us what's going on with you because you clearly just walked up.
Yeah, I literally, my iPad rang, so I answered it. I didn't realize I was going to be out.
On international video.
Yeah.
Thank goodness you were dressed.
Just finished going through, driving across country. Lots of fun. Couple incidents. A couple blown tires, 18-wheelers in front of me, but, nothing that bad.
Oh, good. I'm glad you got there safely. So you were coming back from Phoenix to New York. Is that where you're at?
I'm in Phoenix.
Oh, you were going the other way.
You made me think about it there for a minute.
I always have to stop and think about what city I'm in, but that's just me.
One thing that was interesting coming across the country is a diesel pickup truck passed me by, and he got cut off, and he had to hit on the brakes really fast, and I got a face full of soot. I couldn't see anything for about 1,000 feet. Have you ever seen that happen?
I think that's against the law in some states, but yeah, I've seen diesel trucks do that on purpose.
Yeah, on purpose. This wasn't on purpose. It was just he was, not at me anyway. It was probably at the other guy.
But exactly.
I just wondered how I'd react if I had my XLR with the top down and that happened.
I really couldn't see. It was almost like a NASCAR race where the guy blows the engine in front of you. But what was strange is it was complete black smoke, and I couldn't see anything. I want to say a good 30 seconds.
Wow.
Towing a U-Haul at 50, 60
That's
miles.
terrifying at speed. Yeah.
The only thing I could do is just hold it down, lock it down, and hit the brakes, and otherwise I would have been jackknifing too.
Exactly.
But luckily I didn't have too many trucks around me, so it was good.
Well, I'm glad you survived.
Yes.
Now, this is another reason you need a dash cam.
Yes, we are getting a dash cam like ASAP.
Exactly.
So, definitely. Yeah, so I had about 3 blown tires and that was it.
What part of Phoenix are you in, Vinny?
I'm about 40 miles southeast of Phoenix, a town called Queen Creek.
Okay.
It's funny. I moved from Queens to Queen Creek. It's 2,000 miles.
Yeah, Mike's in Kansas, but then he goes to Phoenix to visit his family down there. So.
Okay.
Yeah,
so if you need something from Kansas, send him a note.
No, I need somebody to unpack this U-Haul.
Yeah, I don't think he's available for that.
I think you'll have to bring it to Kansas.
Yeah.
And it has to be Cadillac related before Mike can help, and there has to be beer.
Two things I don't have.
So and Vinny, please continue to join us as long as you can. But I certainly understand since you just drove up, if you want to give us any news you have, and then sign off.
Really, I went to the auto show. You guys saw the videos.
Yes.
I put 2 more videos on the YouTube channel. Without models,
Yeah, the video I watched was all models.
Yeah, it's funny. No matter when I'm taking a picture of a Cadillac, there's always those models were from Long Island Exotic Car Club.com or something like that. Long Island Exotic. So he just started it. So and all of a sudden, boom! There's 3 models in the way. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll just keep taking pictures. Nothing wrong with this,
Yes.
So, that was the blue car was the ATS-V. I believe it's the same as yours.
Yes.
Yeah, I sat in it for the first time. I need to lose a few pounds before I try that again. But
well, it depends because the upmarket seats are probably more that way than the base seats. So just don't pay the extra $2,500 for the Recaros, and you may be more comfortable.
Maybe. I was trying to adjust them and all kinds of stuff, and I was just whatever button I hit, it was the wrong one. Well, I got my camera equipment, my video equipment, so I'm kind of, all bundled up.
Yes.
I sat in that, and I sat in CT6 with the rear view mirror. I really, really like that.
Yes. I think that's a wonderful technology,
Yeah.
and because when you're backing up the CT6 and you look in the rearview mirror, you don't see anything in the back of the car. You see out the back of the car, so
Right.
it's going to be
And it's like a
improved vision.
fisheye lens. It's like a fisheye lens too, so it can see both blind spots too. Uh,
Perfect.
the only thing I was on my way here, all I was looking at out the rearview mirror is U-Haul. Because
Yes.
so technically that would have been useless in my situation. But I don't think anybody's towing a U-Haul with a CT6. So
Now, what they're doing with tow packages now, right, is on the Chevrolet trucks and the Ford trucks, they have rear-looking cameras on the outside of the side mirrors, and they're
okay,
actually doing virtual. In the ATS, when I go to back up, it'll not only show me the view out the back, it'll show me, it's enhanced reality, so it shows you a panel that for where the car's going to back up to based on the steering input.
okay,
And they're doing the same thing with backing up trucks. So when you go to back up a truck and trailer, this trailer view camera will show you where's the trailer going to back up to based on your current steering input.
nice. Another thing that they couldn't get to work is the night vision in the CT6.
I was just seeing that where Cadillac had advertised that the CT6 has enhanced night vision, but I had not heard that in their discussions.
It was so busy in the place. There's a little camera in the front grille, which is very similar to the camera that's in the back of the car. The Jacob Javits Center is probably the worst place in the world for lighting, no matter what you do. It's a photographer's nightmare because you always got purple and green, and everything's rotating. It's a clear ceiling, so you got the sun. So, so they had problems putting stuff over all the ports to have the night vision show. The guy who was there for the night vision, wasn't there yet when I was making the video. I'm sure they got it all figured out.
Now, so is it a low light camera or is it an infrared, a night vision, an infrared camera?
It's full night vision, I believe. From what they
Interesting.
were talking, I'm not 100% sure, but from the way that they were talking, it was yes.
And they're projecting it in the center of the dash
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to the heads-up display.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to find out more about that. But yeah, that's another reason they need to put that dash in everything.
Very comfortable car to sit in. And
Oh, good.
When I was sitting in it, there was two big guys in the back seat. And of course, the rear mirror technology, I didn't even know that they were there.
Perfect.
It does its job to the CT6.
Okay,
sure
so you're going to get that instead of the SRX then.
No, I sat in the CT5, right? Is that what it's called?
XT5.
I sat in that, and it was funny for me. Once again, the way I had the seat set up, I had a problem looking out of the driver's side. It was almost as if the hood was up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like a bubble almost. And I didn't feel comfortable in it. But once again, I had the seats really low.
Yeah, I bet when you didn't have all your gear with you and you had time to adjust everything, I know at a car show everybody's wanting to come and go, and so it's not really a great time to try on cars.
Plus, I got all the Cadillac dealers and stuff there too who were seeing the car for the first time, or
Yeah.
seeing some whistles. And of course, when they come over, I got to get out of the way, so I'm in and out. This little courtesy thing. I don't want them yelling at me. No.
Now, did you run into any other presidential candidates?
No, I did not. I did run into the guy who's in charge of GM design. What's his name? Ed Weldon.
Yeah, he's retiring.
Yeah.
That was this week.
He was over by the Buick thing, and he was sitting down with somebody who was really important. And the Buick, I forget what the name of it is, the Avista or something like that.
Yeah, the new one.
And he was sitting like 5 feet away from me. I says, "Wow, that's nice. It looks like a baby Cadillac steel car." And he gave me a look like, "No." But to me, that's exactly what
the Avenir, the Buick Avenir. Yeah, he didn't design that one though, right? The new guy, the guy who's replacing him, designed that one. But of course, it's under Al Welburn's watch. So, but yeah, he has really a remarkable story because when he was 11, he wrote to GM and asked them, you know, he wanted to be involved in automobile design and how could he get involved? And you know, he ended up as a design chief at General Motors.
I think that was on Jay Leno or something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's 44 years, 44 years with GM. So
yeah,
bless his heart,
nice
and I hope he enjoys his retirement. And I bet he's got a great garage.
I bet he does.
So.
All right. Well, I guess that's about it. I'll be putting some more pictures up. I still got to write a blog post.
Well, thanks for being on, Vinny. Yeah, I'm glad you got there safely. And then keep us posted on your travels.
I'll be on next week for sure.
That's Vinny traveling the country. So if you see somebody and if you're about to if you're about to do something that you want captured on the internet, do it in front of Vinny.
There you go.
Take care.
All right, guys. Thank you.
See you, Vinny.
So good to hear from Vinny, and certainly we all understand if he just literally drove up, then you know he's tired from the road. So that's why I was saying, you know, although we would love to have him stay on with us for an hour, I certainly understand if he wants to catch up there.
No doubt.
So, Mike, any XLRV reports from you?
No. I actually drove it the other day, but there's no news.
I saw a black XLRV at the grocery store, and I thought, well, is Mike in town?
No, Mike wasn't in Texas, although Mike did get a toll. Oh, I don't even know what you call that thing, something in Texas.
A bill from when you came through?
Yeah, I didn't even know I was on one of those toll roads, but evidently I was.
Well, there you go. Yeah, they if you don't have a Texas toll tag, they bill you based on your license plate and look it up that way.
So, yeah, they got me. I didn't know.
But it's not severe, right? It's some.
That's correct. It was $7 or something.
Yeah, so. That's a good deal for the toll road you took while you're in Texas.
Oh, I wasn't particularly mad about it. It just seems like a guy ought to be able to tell if he's on a toll road and, you know, paying money. There's signs there, but
I like the fact that there's almost nowhere you have to slow down though now, and so if that's the trade, it's harder for me to tell I'm on a toll road, but I don't have to stop. Then I'll take that trade, right?
Right.
I want the keep going.
Like I said, I wasn't mad about it or nothing, but it would be nice just to know. And it was just, I had no idea.
Yep. So I'm right at 800 and something miles on the ATSV. So it's coming right along. It does keep up with. The new thing they're doing with the fuel economy computer is it keeps up with what's your fuel economy been for the last 50 miles and what's your best fuel economy been over a 50-mile period during this sat.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So what's your...
That sounds good to know.
Yeah, so let me see if I can pull this up. I had taken a snap to try and show this, and so Apple, if you're watching, if you would stop locking me out of iCloud, I would appreciate it. Thank you very much. Because I have a tremendous fear that I won't be able to log back into iCloud anymore, and so this is my home computer. I always mark it keep me logged in. Thank you very much. But so I'm going to try and share my screen. I also put on the Q&A. So if you have a question, no question so far. If you have a question at home and you're not on with us, then you can post your question and I will try and address it. Okay, so can you see my screen now?
Yes.
So this is one of the programmable selections. So in the center of the dash, you have 3 little zones you can choose what to display. So what this is showing, and I was stopped at the moment, which allowed me to safely take a photograph. So it will show your instant miles per gallon over to the left here, but then the average over the, I interpret this to be the last 50 miles since it shows the last 50 miles, but the average fuel economy and then the best fuel economy that you had achieved over 50 miles.
Oh, that's over a 50-mile period.
I think so. So I think that's really useful and interesting, and I keep that kind of queued up on the left side of the data display so that I can. Now the ATSV is only rated for 24 miles per gallon on the highway, so I think mine is actually doing better than the EPA rating in this case.
That was going to be my comment when I saw that on there. I didn't think it was supposed to be as high as 26.7.
And of course, the EPA has, you're doing this set program. So if you're just doing flat rolling, sometimes you can do better than the EPA. But yeah, I think it's doing quite well. I'm of course enjoying the heck of it. I'm still trying not to hot rod it around too much, because it has kind of a break-in period that they want you to do for it, where you don't rev it up a whole bunch and hot rod around it. And so I'm doing that. I did accidentally, usually it will just hunker down and accelerate when you accelerate. It doesn't spin its tires a lot.
Right.
I think because they set up the rear with the electronic limited slip differential, that they've set it up where it just kind of squats and goes, so to speak. But but I did accidentally, half a block of 20 feet of tire the other day. Now, the other thing that they've done with the ATSV though is it does not have run flat tires. So
do you feel like that's a good thing? Do you have a spare? Did it come with a spare?
No, it came with a little, air injection kit.
Right.
But I feel like it's a good thing when I go to buy tires. The original equipment tires on the STSV were $400 a piece.
Right.
So I never had the original equipment tires on the STSV after the first set. I always replaced them with something else. But I do want to keep the same tires on the ATSV because, as Cadillac loves to say, they were designed for the ATSV. And so I'd like to put back on these Michelin Cup tires that it came with when I get my new tires next year.
Next year?
Normally I run a year for a set of tires, so I'll probably celebrate the anniversary of buying the car with the new set of tires.
That sounds like quite an anniversary.
But $1,000 for a set of tires is much better in my mind than $2,000 for a set of tires.
Yes, that seems to be accurate.
Yeah, so that's how I tell that. Now, other than that, though, the ATSV is just going along wonderfully well. No buyer's remorse for having spent the whole thing on getting the new ATSV. And so I've run into generally two types of people who understand what the car is and appreciate it, and people who don't have any clue what the car is and don't care.
And it's no different than a Prius to those people.
Yeah, no different than a Prius to those people. And so I've had, motorcycles pull up beside me to give me a thumbs up in traffic. People jumping up and down and excited and wanting to talk to me about the car, and then other people who, okay, it's a car.
It looks new.
Yeah, well, I have to figure out an enhanced way to keep it clean because I do need to drive it every day, which isn't the perfect way to keep it clean.
But at least you get to keep it inside now.
Yes, I'm using my garage technology. That's right. We're actually looking to see. My wife I asked my wife, well, if we do end up retiring here in 5 years or 10 years or something, would we want to move a little bit out of town and get a ranch maybe where we had a little more room and, we could live the Air Mike dream, right?
Yes,
Or
you could have you a big old shop.
have a shop and a little more room and be happy. So now every place she shows me has a shop, right?
Right.
Like one of the places we were looking at, the guy showed he had gotten a building. So inside the building is a lift and a Corvette. Like that's the whole building. he had built a metal building just to take care of his Corvette.
He just had the one car, huh?
Yeah, just that they had a carport. He had the one car, and so it was all Corvette memorabilia, and it was furnished on the inside building, and he had a lift and everything, and was taking care of his Corvette. Another one they had done kind of like your shop, right, where they built a big 9-car metal building in the back of the house.
Mm-hmm.
But part of the metal building kind of stuck out where you could see it if you were standing in front of the house, right? And they didn't think that would be attractive to have a metal building right behind the home. So that part of the metal building, they decorated, they put a facade in front of it so it looked like an old-timey gas station.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You didn't have, where did you see this? You didn't
This is a property that was for sale. Yeah, I'll send you an image of it. I don't have it queued up where I can pull it up live.
Right. That'd be interesting to look at.
Yeah, that was and I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, well, why would you have, this facade of a gas station in your yard, right? Why would you want that? But
Right.
but then after I looked at all the different pictures of the properties, I said, if you had a choice between the metal building sticking out and something fun, then they went with the something fun, right?
Right.
In other words, they hid their metal building behind this old-timey car location.
Originally, I had hesitations about building as big a shop as I did as far as the height of it, because I live in I live in a double wide actually, and I just figured, well, it's going to dwarf this double wide, and it does. But well,
It's priorities.
well, yeah,
That's what that is. When you got twice as much room for your cars as you have to live in, that's priorities.
Yeah, I got twice as much room, all right.
Yeah, the only thing that gave me pause though is because to me the luxury of that type setup is your neighbors are far enough away from you that you can't see or hear them, right? In other words, that's the idea of moving out to the country to me, is that you could go get a 4 or 5 acre place with the house in the middle and you can't see your neighbors. But then it occurs to me that you have to mow. Because my dad would mow all day, right? I mean, he had 4 acres next door and 4 acres in the house, and he would spend hours mowing with, and had 3 tractors to do so.
Yeah, that's when you have to step up and get the latest and the greatest mowing machines.
Yeah, so that becomes your new hobby.
Yeah, because I can actually mow. I only have 3 lots here. I don't have acres, but I had a goal of getting my mowing down, and I've got it down to just barely over an hour. I could spend 2 hours if I have to weed eat and stuff, but if it's just mowing,
well, that sounds good.
Right, so I can do it in under an hour, so it's all good.
Now, I still want a laser grass system. In other words, it would work kind of like a sprinkler, where the laser would just cut the grass off. In other words, you would just the laser would cut the grass off.
And what's this laser reside on?
It would look kind of like a sprinkler head, right?
Maybe on your sidewalk or out in the yard.
Yeah. We used to have a robot sprinkler system that would walk. You'd put it on one end of the yard, and it would gradually walk to the other end of the yard, sprinkling the yard.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. So it could water the grass and cut it short at the same time.
Sure hope the dog don't wander over there about the time.
As long as he's not made of grass, you're okay.
Oh, it could tell the difference, I guess. Huh?
Yeah, it'd have to be a smart laser, right?
Yeah.
Now, the other thing is
short dog.
If not at first, then as it went, yeah. So there's still some things we've got to work out with the lasers, with the laser grass system. We have to come up with a good brand name too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Light and easy cutting system, maybe.
Light and easy. So laser mowing system, this is your own idea. There's not something that's in the works somewhere, huh?
No, I have not seen this available yet. So, but that's just what I want. And maybe you just build it into your sprinklers, right, where they just pop up and cut the grass around them.
Yeah. Maybe you just put a whole bunch of concrete out. You don't have to mow.
No, okay. Well, yeah. All right. And also, my wife had found us a place that had a private landing strip on it too. And I said, well, that wasn't as attractive to me, maybe, unless the landing strip was somewhere we could test cars, right?
Yes, like the
if it was paved.
The guys, street racers, the street outlaws. The wife didn't appreciate it when they used the driveway for a test strip one day.
Yeah, there you go. And so if I had my own, half-mile track, that would be ideal, because then you could do tuning and testing at the same place, right?
Right. I think you'd probably end up with a whole bunch more friends.
Every Friday night, and free beer.
Right. Now we're getting somewhere, Bruce.
Exactly. So, I don't know. We'll probably retire in place here and be happy. But I keep thinking that, and my wife's idea now, right, is to lure us to a place based on it having car features. She's thinking if she can find the place with the right car features, then I'll want to move there.
Oh, it's going to work. She sounds like a pretty smart woman.
Oh yeah, she is much smarter than I am. And I think that's been the key to our relationship, right?
Oh yeah.
She's constantly staying one step ahead of me. Let's see. So Cadillac did announce their international sales are continuing to go well. They've sold about 22,000 cars so far this year, and I posted the exact figures in the forum. The XTS is sold 5,000 last month. So the XTS is actually selling well in China because the U.S. numbers were not that great.
This chart you had here, it didn't have each car where it was selling, right?
No, it didn't have by car by. It did not have by car by country. However, we do know, because if you read the blog post, we do know that the XTS sold 2,247 cars last month in the U.S. So if the XTS sold 5,000 total and 2,200 were in the U.S., then 2,800 were somewhere else.
Yeah.
And probably in China, right? The majority in China. And so the same thing with the SRX, sold 4,000 in the U.S., 6,500 anywhere, so about 2,500 in China. So the ATS continues to sell better in China. They sold 1,900 in the U.S. and 4,800 overall, so about 2,800 in China. So the Chinese sales were probably 1/3 ATS, 1/3 XTS, and 1/3 SRX. Something in that nature. So good.
This chart that you have on here, I'm kind of looking at it at the moment.
Yes.
is this just? It says March 15th, and then it says March 16th.
2016 and 2015.
So that's a year's.
March
they
of
sold
it,
for the
it's
year.
what they sold during March of that year. That compare each year's sales to the last year's during the same month.
Okay, so this is not January through March or something. It's just
Now
March.
you can see that over where it says year to date 16 over to the right.
All right.
So they sold 61,163 year to date, and last year they had sold 60,967 year to date. So almost exactly the same. Their CTS sales are down a little bit, and their Escalade sales are up a little bit. And the other thing Cadillac was rumoring this year, the rumor about Cadillac this week was that the CT8 has been canceled.
Yes, so I heard.
The big car. So that may mean the CT9 still coming, or it may mean that they're going to get the big crossover and the Escalade replacement out ahead of worrying about another big sedan. Cadillac sedans are not selling well. You know, nobody's sedans are selling well. Everybody wants a crossover or an SUV. So now's the time to pour on the crossovers and SUVs, right?
I guess. I don't understand car marketing and sales, but the Escalade's been their key automobile for a long time, right?
Yes. And now Cadillac, again, their average transaction price is the highest among any of the luxury car manufacturers, the full line luxury car manufacturers. So they're making as much per sale. You know, we don't know their profit per sale, but if you're getting the highest transaction, then you're probably making more money than not, right?
You would think.
But their average transaction got to 54,000. Now, which is a fully loaded ATS or a partially loaded CTS, or the starting price for the CT6. $54,000 these days. The average car in the United States, I think, costs $33,000 or $34,000.
So they're
just
selling,
for perspective.
They're selling more of the cheaper cars.
Everybody does, and you know, we see those in the numbers, right? So in other words, they sold over for sales anywhere. They sold more SRXs and ATSs than CT6s and Escalades.
Oh, okay.
You know, the ATS and the SRX are their entry level. The SRX goes up as high as as much as you want to spend, basically. But the SRX starts at 35, and the ATS starts around 35. And so they're selling, certainly they sell more of those by quantity than they do of their more expensive cars.
So the big thing about the Escalade was not they're selling more of them; it's their profit margin on it.
Right.
Okay.
Each one makes so many dollars in profits that you may have to sell 3 ATSs to make the same profit as you do from selling one Escalade.
All right.
So you'd rather your Escalade sales go up by 500 than your ATS sales go up by 1,500.
Right.
But when you go to buy an Escalade, that's a $80,000 or $90,000 transaction, right?
Right. It's a big expensive car.
Yeah. And so it's more. Now, the thing that may be hurting the Escalade, though, is oil is down, which means that people that were worried about putting gas in their Escalade are going to buy more Escalades. But the oil companies themselves aren't buying Escalades, right?
Right. So
whereas they might have come in before and said, we want one for every vice president. While oil's down, then they're going to count their pennies a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, the Escalade starts at 73, and so you can't the base Escalade 73. So you can't get one out of there for one Escalade is 2 ATSs.
Well, I guess that shows how much I pay attention or know about automobiles, because, you know, I've heard that commercial, it's not your granddaddy's Caddy or whatever, but I never realized that the entry level was still what sold the most, even in Cadillac.
Oh, yeah, I think that that's true for any brand, right? Is your quantity leader is always your least expensive item. Well, I guess that's right. For BMW, they managed not to do that. They came out with the 1 Series, and it didn't sell well at all because it was just, you know, small and ugly. And then they came out with the BMW Mini, and it's done well, but it doesn't sell as well as the 3 Series. The 3 Series is still there, but you know, they created a different brand with Mini when they brought it out versus but the 3 Series sells better than the 5 Series, sells better than the 7 Series. So I think BMW is the same that way, that the 3 Series has always been their best seller. And it's not the M3s that carry the brand, it's the 328s.
Right.
The M3, people look at that and they love watching the videos and so on, but then when they got to pay for one, they buy a 328, right, and say, you know, that gives me 80% of the superhero, but I don't have to spend another $15,000.
You still got to buy what you can afford.
Yeah, you got to you know, decide how you want to spend your money. But although having gotten all in on the ATSV, I would say that's what the money's for.
As long as you
get the superhero car, don't compromise. Luxury cars are not about compromise. Luxury cars are about get the superhero version.
Yes, I agree. You got to get the best you can afford.
Yeah.
Or else why are you even buying the thing?
Well, that's what the Corvette guys always said, is when they asked them, what's the very best Corvette? They said, well, the very next one we're developing is the very best one. But always get the nicest one you can afford is the best one to shop for.
I agree.
Well, any other news you wanted to cover tonight, Mike? I think that we got through the Cadillac news.
I didn't have any news.
Well, good. Thank you for being on. It's good to see you. Tim Carroll, we're missing you out there. Texas Jim, we hadn't seen you in a year, so bless your heart, and I hope your wife is recovering. But log back in with us. KHE, shout out to KHE. He would join us on occasion, and love to have him back on. And if you want to be on with us, the way that you do that is every week when we're doing a video, I put the link in the forum for how to get on the video. You probably want, I use a Logitech video camera, so you probably want a video camera, although you can do just like Vinny did with your iPad or your phone and participate that way. I use a headset. You don't have to, but it keeps the sound from echoing. And so pretty much we found that headsets are useful. Mike, any other advice you would give people for how to do the video?
That jump-in link's the way to get on there. I've tried searching around on Google, finding Google Plus and finding my way. I never find it.
So definitely, now you go through the
jump-in.
Good.
Definitely find the jump-in link.
Perfect. Thank you for watching at home. We do these on Thursday nights, Cadillac Chat. Usually I try and keep them to 30 minutes, but we generally just talk until we remember to see what time it is. And my thought process is 3 minutes is probably anybody's attention span these days is about 3 minutes of internet video is all you want. And so 30 minutes, we're already 10 times over exceeding everyone's attention span. But Mike, thanks for being on. Hold on just a second. I will hit stop broadcast. And again, at home, if you would like to be on with us, contact me and I'll help you practice. And we log in about 15 minutes before the show starts to give you time to queue up your thing. And I am so sorry last week I had no audio. All my fault. And then I was sick as a dog, so I didn't want to redo it. But thank you for those of you who tuned in and wondered, why can't I hear anything? So stand by, Mike.